You guys can watch it later, and so can Kim. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Thank you guys for being on tonight. That we'll try to keep this to about 30 minutes because, like I said, it's a busy time of night, but I appreciate you guys being on. I think it's important to connect face to face, and I really want you guys to be able to ask questions tonight and feed off of each other. So I'm going to go over my stuff pretty quickly so we have time for that. So if you have questions during this, raise your hand or let me know somehow. You can use the chat tool, and also feel free to save some questions for the end too, because we should have time for that. I wanted to go over 4 main things. I think 4, maybe it's only 3. 3 main things tonight. I wanted to talk about your strengths assessment. I wanted to talk to you about posting on social media, and I wanted to talk about your content calendars. Oh, and I just realized Jo wasn't on here. Maybe she'll be able to, hopefully she'll hop on too, because I think she had some questions. So let's start by talking about the strengths assessment. Actually, let me back up a little bit. Now that we're starting week 2, I have spoken with all of you except for Sherry on our consults, and Sherry and I are talking this week. But this was redesigned a little bit from the previous round of the academy. That was some feedback I got. The last round I led, I had consults kind of throughout the whole thing, and some of the feedback was if we would have had the consult earlier, I would have understood more the lessons, and how they applied to what we talked about, which was really great feedback. So that's why we sort of set them up towards the beginning. So now that most of you, except for you, Sherry, and we kind of chatted a little bit before, but have an action plan, all of the lessons should be feeding into those action plans. So we chatted, and you guys each have your own agenda of programming, services, goods that you're working on, and then the lessons should help you with all of that. So that was kind of the goal with how I structured the consults. Okay, now let's talk about the strengths assessment. I first wanted to kind of explain why I include this in the academy and why I think it's so vital. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background and my own personal experience with it. I took it in 2014. It's on this printout I have, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been that long. My mom is the one who asked me to take it. She works in human resources, and her company at the time was doing a lot of training with employees and trying to focus on their strengths. And so they created a department to give these assessments to the employees and then work with them in small groups on how to use their strengths. So my mom got really into this, and she purchased the strengths assessment for the whole family, sent us an email and said, "Can you guys take this?" And so we're like, "Oh, okay, Mom." So we did. We took this assessment. And then she basically charted our family so that you could see where we overlapped. And I still have it saved. And it's a joke in our family that so my brothers are a lot younger, and they're, one of my brothers is getting married next month, and then the other one is just always dating different people. But what the running joke is that as these girls kind of come into our family, my mom sends them the strengths finder, and she really has done this to several girlfriends just to kind of see their strengths. So that probably scares them away. But it really has been so insightful for for learning more about the people that are closest to me. And, my husband took it. She sent it to Chris. She sent it to my brothers, my dad, my grandma. And I really have a deeper appreciation for my family and what they bring to the table. And so if your spouse or the people close to you haven't taken it, I encourage you to have them do that, because I think it's a really important tool for learning about each other. So here's one example and how it helped me, appreciate my husband. Actually, he, our whole lives, he's just always been really competitive, and it drove me crazy. I thought it was like, I thought it was like childish, grow up, quit being so worried about winning the board game or the whatever, who cares if your team wins? I just didn't get it. it kind of annoyed me. And then he took this, and his number one strength was competition. And when I read about it, I was just so shocked at how learning about that strength has really enabled him to be successful in so many areas of his life, in his career and in overcoming obstacles. And after learning that, I did a 180 on how I think about him with that characteristic. And now actually I really love it about him, and I use it to my advantage too. So if there's something that, I want him to do, and I know he's going to be, difficult about, I kind of change it. I make it a competition, and it really does work. So really, like, it really changed things for me as far as how I think about that with Chris. And then for myself, so my strengths are positivity. This is in order: positivity, significance, focus, consistency, and futuristic. So a lot of us overlap. So my number one is positivity. And I've always known that I was a positive person, but I just thought that was, I guess I didn't think that was anything important or significant. I just thought it was kind of a cool thing, And then when I took this and read about what positivity can do and how it's unique, I have owned that trait now. I know that is a thing that not everybody has, and that is something that I'm able to turn on or dig into and apply to my life in ways that can help me. Now, there are some flaws with every strength. And did you guys get the thing that says your ceiling and your basement? Did your report say that? Okay, no. That might have been something that my mom added because she was a coach, or maybe they've changed. But basically that means there's a ceiling and a basement with each strength. So the ceiling is like the great things you can do with your strength, and the basement are kind of the pitfalls. So one of the pitfalls of having positivity is that people can think of me as a Pollyanna, and that's true. My whole life I've had people that don't know me well kind of think I'm not for real, and, because it just, not everybody has that trait and kind of gets it. So I'll do some research to see if I can get you guys the basements and the ceilings so that you can study those. It's helpful to know that you didn't get those. But another way that this was helpful for me is, another one of my, a weakness that I always thought was a weakness, I learned was actually a strength, and so that was significance. I've always been a person who really needed to know that I matter, that what I'm doing is, not just wasted, that it means something. And when I learned about significance, it made me understand those feelings. And so I encourage you guys to write these down and put them on a Post-it on your computer or somewhere where you see them every day, and really own them, be proud of them, memorize them, and think about them as you go through your day and as you have wins and struggles, and see if you can tie those things back to those traits. Because I've done that in the last 3 years, I guess, since I've taken it. And I feel more confident and more just aware of who I am than ever before. And I really do attribute it in a large part to knowing my strengths. So I hope that you guys enjoyed doing that. And I'll see if I can get you, like I said, that more information. But one more thing about the Strengths Finder, you can pay so there are 34 of them. And when you guys did your test, you have all 34 in your profile, but you have to pay to unlock them. So I think it's $75 to get all of your strengths in order. And I haven't done it yet. My mom keeps asking me to do this, but she said it's helpful because there might be something in your 6, 7, and 8 in that order, that's also something that's a strength for you that you might like to know about. And then she said, it's also really interesting to see what your least, least important strength is. So, I think one of my top is probably competition. It's got to be in there somewhere, after learning more about myself. So I think I will probably do that at some point, but you guys can do that too. You can log in and unlock those if you want to. So are there any questions before I move on about the strengths assessment? Okay. All right. If you guys think of something, feel free to use the chat and or raise your hand. Okay, so let's talk about social media posting. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I know that it can be an uncomfortable thing for a lot of people, especially people that are really self-aware like you guys are, because you don't want to be narcissistic and you don't want to be a selfie taker and feel like that person. So I know that about you because I'm the same way. And I've come a long way in kind of understanding that it's just something that I have to do and that is important for building my business. So I wanted to chat through that a little bit. First of all, it's good that you're self-aware and that you are, that you're not just wanting to be that person. I think that makes you a really awesome person and well-rounded and smart. And so that's really great. But you have to kind of change your way of thinking a little bit, a few ways. First of all, you are all in business and you all have really great things to offer. So whether it's your program, your law firm, your style advice, your messages from above, you have something that nobody else has. And if you want to make a scalable business, create a scalable business, you have to get people to know you, allow people to know you online. Because if all of us could just do business in person, that's fine. And that would be okay, but that's not very scalable because we really only have so many hours in the day. But when you do something online like this, look, I'm able to talk to, all of you at once instead of doing individual consults. It's such a great way to reach more people and to make your time stretch further. So you think about it like a way to allow people to get to know you and decide if they like you, if they want to work with you, and if they trust you. So when I post about my life, that's what I'm doing. I'm just sharing myself with people, and it's weeding out people who don't like me and who don't want to work with me. Because quite honestly, I don't want to work with people who don't like me. That's not my client, I want to work with people who get me and that I understand, and that we have a good relationship and a good groove. So by sharing about my life, it's starting to attract people that are interested in what I have to offer. And the same goes for you guys. So it's just another way to get to know people. So I want you to think about it like that. I also want you to think about it like, when we've talked about this, like a business tool. So, in business, think about a company. Like my husband works at a credit union. So they have a marketing department, and they put a lot of money into that marketing department. And they do all sorts of marketing with billboards and radio commercials and, print ads and all sorts of things. Well, social media is our marketing department, and most of the time it's free. So think about using it as your marketing. Yes, you can still use it for connecting with family and friends and that kind of thing, but you're also a smart businesswoman and you're using this tool that is available for us. It's free and it's going to grow your business. So that's where everybody's at. That's where we need to be. And we just have to put on our big girl panties and just do it. And when I started, this whole social media business nearly 5 years ago, I wasn't on Facebook hardly at all. I mean, I would just post randomly. You guys remember probably it was just kind of getting going. And I was coached to start sharing about my life 3 to 5 times a day. And I was like, huh? No, that's so uncomfortable. So I didn't. I started with like once a day, and it took some time. And now when Time Hop comes up and I look back those years ago, it's like horrifying. Like, I can't believe I posted that, but it doesn't matter because it was part of my journey, and it helped me get to where I am now, which is really comfortable posting about my life and what I have to offer on there. But if you're not on social media much now, just start slow. Just start sharing what you're doing. Start sharing who you are. If you're really into humor, share funny stories. Just get comfortable. And just like anything, the more you do it, the easier it will get. I promise. So I was that person that wasn't on there all. Now I'm on there all the time, and it's like no big deal. If you're on social media now, but you're not used to sharing about what you have to offer, it's the same thing. Just start a little bit, and it will get easier. And that helps me segue into your content calendar, which is the last topic I wanted to cover tonight. I think having a content calendar really helps make it easier to share about what you're doing, because it's a plan. And you guys know anything you do in life that's really good kind of starts from a plan, I think. From working out to eating well to business. I mean, all of that stuff just goes so much better when you've got a plan. So here's how I do the content calendar. I have a physical, and it's in the other room, a physical calendar. I use Google Calendar too, but not for this. I use my physical calendar that I can see. It's like a month calendar, and I start with my program launch dates or my whatever is going on. And I kind of have a lot of things going on right now, so it's really easy for me to post because there's like 1,000 things. Actually, it kind of makes it hard, because I have to really kind of narrow down what I'm doing. But regardless, so I start with the launch date. So let's say my carb cycling program starts again on Monday. Okay, so that's when we begin. So the last date for enrollment is Saturday. So on Saturday, I'll write, last call. That's my post for that day. I'll do some sort of post about last call. Then, 2 days before that, I'll share a testimonial. And that will be my post for that program. And then 2 days before that, I will share some sort of, a food picture, like I did today, a food picture about my program and what it's about. And then do you see what I'm doing? I'm just working backwards. And I do that with anything that I'm launching. I think that, so you should be sharing about what you do all the time, not just right before a launch, but especially the 2 weeks beforehand. That's when you're going to really kind of hit it harder and be more intentional. You should have a lot of testimonials, and if you don't currently have those, then ask a friend or ask one of us. I mean, we can give you a character testimonial, character reference, like for you, Kristen, I've known Kristen for years, and she's a great, she's so down to earth, and she's really wants to help people. Like, that would be a perfect testimonial. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you've coached me in your program. So testimonials are huge. You want to start saving those. Sandy, for you, you could get one from me or from my grandma. Ask her, to write you 2 sentences about, your style and that. So Sandy's neighbors with my grandma. That's why I'm mentioning my grandma. So, just start collecting those. Those are really, really powerful. But you're basically all the time breadcrumbing, leaving information about what it is you do. And then there are certain times when you're, putting a call to action out there. So let me take a pause here. And I've been talking straight for 25 minutes. What do you guys, I get really excited about this stuff. What questions do you have about anything that I talked about, or anything not related to that you want to cover?
can go.
Okay.
So one of my questions was, I posted this on my page, so not our law firm page. I got like a reminder, just, a memory from last year about Andrew, because he's the attorney in our law firm. So that's my husband, about him taking a call while we were watching my son's soccer practice. So I shared that on my page, but I'm wondering, like, on our law firm like page, if that's something I would share on that as well, or do we make that super professional? But part of me is just like, do we want them to see that he's a real person? You know what I mean? Like, he's not, I don't know.
Well, there's a chiropractor in our area that has a page, and they share some family pictures on there and family things, and I love it, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would love to know what everyone else thinks too. Yeah. So I'm just wondering what they're, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that just showing that he's a real person, I mean, people are going to connect with him because of it.
Yeah.
It just, I think that gives them kind of who he is, Family's important. I'm here at the game, but I can take care of you too.
Oh, yeah, I like it. You could try a couple like that and see how well they're received, and then kind of go from there. My guess is that those posts will do better than any others on that page.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so because I was trying to come up with my content stuff. I haven't even dug deep into that yet because I did the stuff for today. But yeah, like so far I've got, so I can do the family stuff. I can do, so Andrew Answers, he does like free consultations on this big website thing. So all I do is I'm going to cut and paste and then just put it on our like page. So he's answering for them. Yeah, even like education, like he used to do some blogs and just like take snippets, from his blogs. And I mean, I could go months with that.
Could you guys do like a live Q&A on the page? With like live, quick.
About the Q&A, that's a good idea.
Law advice, but you might have to do it, Sherry, from your page to get enough views on it to start, and then share it to that page, and then as you build traction, you could go live from that page.
Okay.
But you could announce it on your page, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern or whatever, we're going to go live and take your questions on all things law. But you would probably want, what else? You could do BE Live interview is such a cool format, and it's free. I've done a couple interviews on it. It's so cool. So you could be interviewing Andrew, or you could be maybe not interviewing, but kind of being the person that's like running the show. Because my guess is he's probably not as comfortable with the video as you are. So you could
we'll see if he wants to get on there.
Yeah. You could, if he agrees to it, you could be. It like splits the screen, and you see both of your faces, and you could be fielding the questions as they come in, talking to him, and like kind of helping be the mediator between the people and your husband. That might be cool.
That might be really cool because people know me. They know what I look like. And if I just put him in front of the screen, they're going to be like, well, that's great. And I know you guys work together, but I'm not making that connection.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you're offering value to the people, because it's giving them an opportunity to ask law advice or whatever. But I would definitely talk about that before you do it to get people on there.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So if anyone else has any other ideas for kind of my content calendar. So our law firm is he does criminal law, and then DWIs mainly. So yeah, any tips would be great. Like what you would want to see. So thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions or anything you want to touch on?
How do you, question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. I wrote them down. Well, one thing that I was wondering is, it seems like crazy to me that some people have 20,000 followers or 6,000 followers on some of these social media platforms. But it just seems like such a far-fetched goal. And I do have positivity in my strengths,
I know.
but it just seems like so crazy. How do people actually get to that?
Well, before I tell you how they get to that, things have changed so much in the last few years, and I'm really glad. So I was part of, a network marketing company for a while, and it was all, we would do trainings on how to grow your like page and how to get these likes. And basically we were taught how to run Facebook ads, and you would pay a certain amount. You'd create this ad to get as many people to click like as possible, right? And so you're paying per like. So there was like a formula, and you tried to get under 10 cents per like, and you could run the ad as long as you want. Okay, so I did the training, everybody did the training, and I grew my like page from 1,200 to 6,000. So it sounds really impressive, but it's not, because I paid for those likes, number one, so they're not organic. Most of the people that are on that page that liked it are not valuable to me at all. They don't want what I have. They don't know me. It's meaningless. Most of 99% of my sales and my connections come from my personal page, which only has about 2,000. Now, so that is an old strategy that hopefully is going out the window. Now when I see trainings on Facebook ads, it's more for advertising a free piece of content. It's called a lead magnet, and we will talk about this next week, I think. A free piece of content in exchange for an email. And then through that process, they get added to your page, I believe. But more importantly, you get their email. And so that's how you grow. Then you grow your email list and you grow your connections that way. And I am currently doing a Facebook ad for one of my lead magnets, and that is going very well. I grew my email list by about 200 in 2 weeks from this Facebook ad. And honestly, that's where you want the people. You want them in your email. It doesn't matter if they're on your Facebook page, your like page. So you guys, Facebook is changing the game. It used to be free, and now you have to pay to play when you are when you have a business page. That's why all of my advice centers around really working on your personal page, because if you want any engagement on your business page, you have to be advertising and paying. And I'm not convinced it pays off. So back to the question about how do people get so many? First of all, they paid for those ads. But also they connect with other influencers, and you can trade, likes for likes and things like that. There's lots of there's lots of ways to do that. But I know so many people in this coaching group that I'm a part of that only have 400 or 500 friends or followers on Instagram or less, and they're doing very well. So it's really more about the quality of the people on your page than the number. And that's a shift. It used to be all the talk was about how many people, and you would be thought of as more successful if you had more likes and more followers. But now I think that's a bunch of garbage. Like, I really think you can do the same amount with less if they're really quality people. And a lot of us have quality people already on our personal page because they already like us and know us and trust us, right? So does that answer your question?
Yeah, that definitely does.
Okay.
Let's see. So you had said before the Be Live interviews, that's how you did the split screen?
Yes.
Okay. And then I've got one question that I'd like to open up to everybody. I know this is like 101 with branding, but I'm kind of stuck between, do I call my business Julie Jancis, my name, or do I call it something like, well, what I've got registered in Illinois is Chicago Energy Healing. I don't know, because as they've developed my Instagram and my business Facebook page, it says Chicago Energy Healing. And I don't know if people are recognizing that that's me.
I would use your name. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Name too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because your business might change, you know what I mean? Your name's always going to be the same, but your business might evolve too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point.
I
Thank
like
you.
when we were talking, Julie, and you said like well, you didn't say your name. You said Angel Messenger. What if it was like Julie Jancis, comma, Angel Messenger, or Messenger of the Angels, or, you know, that could be some further branding, you know,
to add to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Okay.
Because when I first got an email from you, before I knew you, it was from Chicago Energy Healing. And I thought, I just saw Chicago Energy and I'm like, this person works at some sort of power plant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was before
tell me that. Yeah.
Before I read it or paid attention, you know, that's the first thing I thought of. So
okay.
I guess that we should pay attention to that.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you for letting me ask that question.
Julie, I would love to do a Be Live interview with you.
That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Let's do it. And then we can tell the world what you do and you can explain it and maybe you could, I don't know. We could talk about it, but that would be really fun.
Oh, thanks, Katie. I really appreciate that.
And you guys should consider that too. You know, this is a really powerful group. I mean, we're all kind of in different spaces, but like Kristen and Joe, you're both in the health and wellness industry. And, you know, you each have your own area of expertise that you could offer each other. You know, it really is so cool when you can bring other people into your network. I mean, that is actually how I met Joe in our group. I don't know her at all, but I did an interview with somebody from this coaching, you know, network I'm in, and she shared it on her page, and one of her friends saw it and reached out to me, and now she's here. And so it's just really powerful. Those connections are big, and you know, you just never know who is watching and who needs your help, you know? Oh, I can't hear you, Kristen. Are you muted?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to say, I can't believe I did my first like sort of call to action type post the other day and it made me want to barf, but I did it anyway. But I got a bunch of messages about that. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, and then I don't know if you saw it pop up at all, Katie, but a friend of mine who I worked with like 5 or 6 years ago, we don't really talk. She lives in Florida now. And she posted on my Facebook wall, like, who does that anyway? It wasn't a private message. And it was like this really sweet note, like, hey, just wanted to tell you I watch your Instagram stories and it's really great tips. Your kid's really cute. And I'm like, people actually pay attention to me a little bit.
Me, Kristen. Yay. Oh, they make you want to barf yourself. I know. And I really love that about you because you don't want to be annoying. And I totally I feel your heart in that, but you just have so much to offer and this is how you can share it with people, you know?
I noticed I've been journaling more just because I've been out of the habit of it, but you kind of having those little assignments early in the week helped. And I'm like, I'm dealing with a lot of fear of getting over that, like really realizing I have something to offer and to say I have something to offer. And I never, like all these years of trying to figure out what my goals are and what I want to do, we're kind of tied up in that. So I don't know if any of you feel that way or dealt with that, but it was a weird realization like 2 days ago.
Oh, I love hearing that. I hope you read or listen to that book I recommended by Tara Moore because she talks a lot about fear and how like our fear holds us back. It's called Plain Big. I listened to it while I would run and oh my gosh, it was so powerful for me. So it's written by a woman about women and I just love that. So good. Oh, I love hearing that. Is anybody else dealing with the same things? Fear?
Always.
Yeah. Yes.
I do want to mention something that might help you get over it. So in my networking group, someone said, someone is praying for what you have. So when you share it, they're not going to get that prayer answered. So
I love that. And Julie, do you have anything to add? Any words of wisdom about this?
You know, I just really like how you spoke faith into everybody by sharing that everybody has that worth, because that's what everybody's spiritual teams come across saying on the other side, is just that if you could see all the people lined up behind you that you're really helping in the future, you'd be amazed at the number of people behind you, the souls that you're really touching.
She told me that when we had our consult, and I'm like, my whole body got tingly, and I got it again. And I will say, you know, this is not to say that you're not going to be critiqued from putting yourself out there. I mean, it happens. You're going to have haters. You're going to have people that aren't jiving with what you're doing. And you know what? Who cares? You do not want them in your life anyway, or at least not in this capacity. And so, just focus on the people that you're able to help, the relationships that will bring to your life through this. I mean, I'm so grateful that I know each of you, and I feel like that the universe aligned so that we could be here together. I really do. And the more that I focus on that and pay attention to that, the quieter the haters and the self-doubt becomes. So I just encourage you guys to, focus on your strengths and trust the process. Okay? All right. Anything else before we wrap?
So I had a quick question, Katie. So like with the law firm info and stuff, like I just post that on our law firm page. Like you said, people aren't seeing it as much. Should I start posting more on my page as well?
I would for now. And yeah, just use your influence and your connections to start to build that. And then at a certain point, Sherry, you probably won't have to do that as much, but for now, why not? I think that's good to let more people know that what you're doing and that you're working with him, and that you guys are a partnership.
And it's better to just share that obviously on my page versus sharing his page to my page, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll start doing that.
Yay. Okay, we're going to start something this week. Actually, maybe we'll start it tomorrow night. Where it's called it's like a lead generator. So I'll do a post in the evening usually, and I'll say, okay, here we go. It's going to start now. And then you basically tell the group what you're promoting at the time, or what post you want some attention on. So for me, it would be like my carb cycling post, and you guys would each go on that post and you would like it and you would comment on it. You'd say, this sounds great. This would be a great program. And that will boost it in the Facebook news feed. It gives you higher affinity. And it's a way to kind of rally together and help each other. And then what we can do is we can hashtag our posts. So if I made the post, I would hashtag it, #accelerate together. And then you can search for them that way. Or whatever, I'll make some sort of hashtag, but be on the lookout for that. Maybe not tomorrow night. Maybe I'll give you a few more days so that you guys have something like a call to action post. But that can be really powerful. Okay, guys, I better let you go because it's getting late, but I appreciate you being on tonight. I'll post the recording if you want to replay it, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.